You've spoken, and here it is. 2004 has to be one of animation's best years. I should mention, my titles can be very misleading. 2004 is one of the best years in animation, with Pixar, DreamWorks, not Disney, hell, even Universal and Paramount, releasing some of their milestone films that changed the game for them. And as I said, y'all voted for 2004, though I see y'all voting for 2006, I'll remember that. So we're gonna make this challenging. If you guys can get this video to 60 likes, I'm posting the next poll for February. January is just a really tough month to fit anything other than my rankings. And if you haven't already, and I know 73% of you haven't, please subscribe. We're so close to 2K. Let's get there. Thank you so much. Anyways, let's do it. Pixar easily released the best film of the year, The Incredibles. I've talked tons about this film, it's really that good, but the first third is very slow. Yeah, I've talked so much about my love for the film, the characters, the action, the surprisingly great story, the dark moments, some iconic Pixar moments. But the first third, specifically with Bob in his midlife crisis, while it is meant to be slow, I could have used some lighter moments here and there.
This some serious gourmet shit.
But regardless, this movie's iconic. I ain't gotta spell it out for you, you all know it's good. So let's talk about Disney's shit year.
We're supposed to help people.
We're supposed to help
This movie's some cow ass, man. Despite this being in my life as a childhood favorite, I look back and cringe at how I found this in any way entertaining. We have Roseanne as a tomboy cow, Jennifer Tilly as a blonde cow, Judi Dench as a cow but with a hat, and Cuba Gooding Jr. as we wanted Mushu but we shopped down Timu. Literally, nothing in this movie is original or different. The trio of cows are all characters I can trace to other Disney films. The main character is Rosie O'Donnell's character from Tarzan, Jennifer Tilly's character is Ariel from Little Mermaid, Judi Dench's character is a prude Miss Potts from Beauty and the Beast, and Cuba Gooding Jr. horse is literally any comic relief character from the Genie Forward. It is so unbelievably lazy. Also, notice how I have not referred to any of them as Maggie, Grace, Mrs. Calloway, or Buck. That's because even though they're animated cows and a horse, they are the biggest example of, hey adults who took their kids to this shit, see this cow? She might look like a funny potty-mouthed cow for the kids, but she's voiced by Roseanne Barr. God, I hate this movie. In the past, and even after this film, celebrities have been able to voice characters in these movies where it's not distracting. Sometimes they're even the best things in the film. Look at Robin Williams as the genie, Eddie Murphy as Mushu, Mandy Moore as Rapunzel. These are all celebrities who made their roles unique. Here, you can't see it other than that's Roseanne as a cow, that's Jennifer Tilly as a cow, that's Cuba Gooding Jr. as a horse. The only thing that saves this film for me is Randy Quaid as the villain. Not only is Quaid the funniest voice actor in the film, but he has the only song that's worth a damn, and even then it's a 6 out of 10 song at best. Home on the Range is peak laziness, absolutely one of Disney's worst in my mind. I wanted to save talking about the Disney sequels since I have a video planned to discuss them all later this month, but I guess talking about 2 of them won't hurt. That being said, Lion King 1.5 is unique, I'll give it that. I still prefer the original, but this being a mid-quel, i.e. the first film told from Timon and Pumbaa's perspectives, is at least creative, which is more than I could say for most of these Disney sequels. It's not terribly funny, but it's creative and unique. That's more than I expected out of Lion King 1.5. It's gotta be better than that. Oh shit, I remembered that existed.
Hey, what's going on? She's getting
Okay, so Mulan 2 is some ass, but I want to mention something. If this was just about escorting the princesses and the princesses falling in love with the 3 adult soldiers from the first movie, I'd probably enjoy it a lot more. As when that is the focus, it's the best thing in the film. But yeah, they do throw in Mulan and Shang fighting, and of course, Mushu being the reason for that. Mulan 2 is a genuine mistake, like most of these sequels, but I guess when it does get good, it's a 5 out of 10. But at those very ugly moments, it can get to a 3 out of 10. Also, the songs suck. Fuck you, Disney. Oh hey, I forgot about this. This is completely off the dome. I completely forgot that this came out in 2004. Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. It exists. It's ugly as fuck. Mickey is kind of mean. The song in Max's segment is kind of cool, I guess. I don't know.
Huck to and spit on that thing.
DreamWorks is a funny mistress, as they released not only one of the best films in their catalog, but also one of their worst in 2004. First is obviously their better film, Shrek 2. I've gone on and on about my love for this film, and yes, it is that good. Shrek 2 is literally a perfect sequel. I know y'all have seen the beautiful Purple Crab Man video, and yeah, it's about all that and more. The fact that every move this film makes just perfects it even more. I genuinely am amazed at how good this sequel is.
honeymoon? With whom?
It is insane how a film I enjoyed enough could spawn a sequel that is straight up one of my favorite DreamWorks films. Oh hey, one of my least favorite DreamWorks films. Shark Tale is baffling because in the same year the team who made Shrek 2 graced us with the entirety of the I Need a Hero scene, they also said, you know that guy from Fresh Prince of Will Smith, make him a fish. What? Shark Tale is genuinely awful, with a bunch of cringy fish puns and incredibly unlikable protagonist who only gets more unlikable even at the times where he's supposed to be redeemed, and without a doubt the ugliest of DreamWorks CG animated films, and that's including their first frickin' movie. This animation is scary. Check out Nostalgia Critic's review, he has one of my favorite skits about this, but you know that Finding Nemo game I played last video? This somehow looks worse, and the Finding Nemo game came out a year prior. Fuck, Finding Nemo came out a year prior, and it looked like this! I guess that brings me to the obvious point regarding this film. Obviously, there were weird points where Disney and DreamWorks would attempt to copy each other, Ants vs. Bugs Life being a big one. Well, even though Finding Nemo was 2003 while this was 2004, people still compare the two, especially with how rushed this film was compared to Finding Nemo. Also, I don't find Jack Black funny in this. Was this a sign?
Just go cry freedom.
Yeah, let's hop over to Universal. I think this is of years in animation first. Balto 3. There was a Balto 2? Not gonna lie, I think I maybe watched Balto once when I was younger. And, this is, it's a kid's film, it's serviceable. Whatever, we got a better film to talk about. Paramount, you sexy bastards. Team America World Police comes to us from the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And you can tell this film was made in 2004 because if we added 20 years to that, this movie would never survive. It is very dicey, but incredibly funny. If you know this duo, you know they usually bring the laughs, and Team America is no exception. This is probably my second favorite thing from them, obviously behind South Park. It's seriously so funny, and it's always fun to watch the films you know wouldn't be made today. Hey, December year in animation, Christmas movie. Creepy Christmas movie!
You bet!
It kinda sucks that movies like this and flops like Christmas Carol and Mars Needs Moms are the reason motion capture animated films have a bad name. Because, as this film proves, you can have something look creepy yet the film itself can have real substance. It is kinda cool how the little bell the protagonist is gifted represents the theme of the film. It's a creative way to represent an ultimately overused theme. While it is creepy, it's also very unique for being based on a book with 32 f***ing pages. Polar Express is a classic for me around the holiday season. My god, I've talked about this film a lot. My favorite Nickelodeon film, this film is 20 freaking years old, man. This film is genuinely great. As many have pointed out, this was supposed to be the finale before Satan's mistakes were made. But many fans still consider this the true finale of SpongeBob. And considering it's been 20 years since its release, I think it's fair to say this is a beautiful legacy left behind by Steven Hillenburg. People will either just say everything after season 3 in the movie happens before the film, or if you're like me, you disregard seasons 4 and up. The movie itself is a classic for many 2000s kids like myself, and everything is just perfectly SpongeBob. I've gotten over my love for this series and this movie many times before, so let's move on.
That's why I guess I'll just have to turn you into men.
Yep, my first Ghibli film. I know I said in January of this year I was going to watch all the Studio Ghibli films for the video, and I guess I just never did. Howl's Moving Castle was the perfect film to start off with, though. Plus, this is our last film of the night. And I gotta say, I gotta check out this studio a bit more. Howl's Moving Castle is probably one of the single most creative animated films I have ever watched. And considering people say that about all of Ghibli's films, I definitely gotta check out more of them. I seriously can't think of any other film quite like this, at least off the top of my head. Definitely checking the others out as we go along. And that was 2004, yeah, pretty good year. Even though Disney had a shit year and DreamWorks wanted that to exist, we still got two possibly all-time greatest animated films from Pixar and DreamWorks. Classics from Nickelodeon, Ghibli, and ImageWorks, and I'd say this is the best ratio of good to bad we've had so far. Well, I'll see y'all in the next one.